I spent too much time flipping through the old medical journals. Gramper and I scrounged up. I reckon I may as well start one of my own. Maybe in the future someone will dig this thing up and have an idea what life was like here in Ward 13. Jacob came by for a visit while Lily was harvesting the garden. He cut up his thumb tilling the earth, but didn't complain none. He and Lily are something else. I don't know where we'd be without that little garden of theirs. It not only brings folks together, but it has us all eating healthy and gives me lots of good ingredients for my herbal supplements. Best part is they grew more carrots and tomatoes in that garden. Sprouted up a sweet little love story as well. Everyone thought they were loony for hoarding up seeds and dreaming of a garden, but just look at what they've accomplished. Okay, Ford is a tough nut to crack. Sometimes these are like 30 pages long, so I should probably like sum them up a little bit because I want to go shoot things. Pretending to be mud dogs. Maybe I should have a chat with Mudtooth about the story of his. Juan came by with an upset stomach again. That's too bad for him. Poor Wally. I feel so bad for that one. Some folk thinks he's a bit touched in the head, but it's not like that. He just gets bad dreams. What am I going to do with that old Mudtooth? He was still as stone in his chair earlier, and I was sure he was a goner. Then he scared me half to death with the loudest snore I ever heard. Okay. I wonder if that's the old guy from the plane. Nah, he'd be too old now. I swear I just about took Riggs over my knee and whooped him. Oh my. The man was suffering from something like pneumonia and kept right on working like nothing was wrong. Whispers came through for some throat lozenges today. Really? Oh, 2 of 14 in the top. That's cool. Reggie's slowed down a fair bit in his recent years. I know he's getting on in age, but it's tough to see. Couldn't ask for a gentler soul. Just like Founder Ford and Bo, our little Clem isn't aging like normal. There's something to it, but I can't put my finger on it. None of my books can explain something like that. Bo seems to think it's because he takes real good care of himself, but I'm not so sure that tracks. They're not aging. Interesting. Dwell? He's from heck someplace I ain't never heard of. He's always talking about some doe and Ravager. Gives me the willies. Still, he's one of us. Okay. I don't know a thing about pan physiology, so I'm just crossing my fingers that it doesn't come up. One of the townsfolk talking about leaving. Okay, interesting.
Hey, you're the newcomer, ain't you? Norah Camarillo. I keep folks alive around here. You know, you're lucky they found you when they did. Your friend was pretty bad. I got her just in time.
How's she doing?
She's great. A real spitfire, that one. I'd hang on to her if I were you.
We're not like that.
Like what? Listen, I don't care what you two are. I'm just saying, don't lose it, whatever it is. That girl's tough, all right. But right now, she needs rest. When she's up and about, I'll make sure you know.
I might be getting old, but I really have no interest in sexual relationships in games. It doesn't help that there's also so campy. That's totally understandable. I mean, a lot of people don't get immersed in games that way. I'm assuming you're talking about Baldur's Gate 3, but in that regard, I'm 100% sure all that stuff is optional. Also, I do remember them saying specifically in Baldur's Gate 3 that a lot of the romantic relationships are not necessarily sexual. So, like, there's, in fact, there's all sorts of different ways you can play it. And if anything, they've shown us player choice is very much a thing. So I would not be surprised if there could be some interesting options for someone like you who is, seen it all, done it all, doesn't need to do it again, and maybe is looking for something new in that regard. So, could be interesting. We'll see. I have some questions.
Well, all right.
You seem pretty young for a doctor.
What are you trying to say, sunshine?
I'm just impressed.
Well, no need for that. You know how a doctor gets good at her craft?
Practice? By making mistakes.
Partially, yeah. Also, by getting things right once in a while. You learn a thing by
Naturally
doing
morbid,
it over and over
down
again.
boy.
For me, that means people who need my help. The more people there are suffering, the better I get at healing them. And Sunshine, I'm the best damn doctor for miles.
How'd you get started in medicine?
My grandfather. He'd been treating folk his whole life, nearly as long as the root's been around. I started assisting Grandpa when I was 5. Dressing wounds, making meds, cutting at the table, you name it.
He sounds like a great man. Wait, you were operating on people at age 5?
Simple stuff at first, but yeah. You're old enough to hold the knife, then you're old enough to use it, he said. But how I helped him most was digging through the old hospitals. Even after a century, there's a hell of a lot to find. All of it useful to someone as clever as Grandpa.
What did you find in the ancient hospitals?
Tons. The old humans knew a lot about the human body, it turns out. Stuff even Grandpa didn't know. Did you know they used to be able to replace a man's lungs with someone else's? Or put a dead man's liver in someone whose liver didn't work anymore?
That's hogwash.
To think of all the folks Grandpa and I could have saved if we had that kind of know-how.
I'm surprised there's anything left in those ruins.
There's plenty if you know what to look for. Most of the basic meds are long gone, but there's still plenty of specialized tools and ingredients there. Stuff no one knows what to do with but me and my grandfather. What they don't got, what I never found once, is a cure for root rot. That's why so many folks died when the root first showed up. Grandpa had to invent a treatment on his own.
Did you say that your grandfather invented the cure for root rot? No, she didn't. She said she invented a treatment, but let's let her tell us that.
A treatment, not a cure. He probably wasn't the only one. I'm sure others came to the same solutions independently. But after Grandpa figured it out, he traveled as far as he could and taught it to everyone he met. I don't know where he started, but I reckon every treatment within 100 miles of here is derived directly from his work.
Huh.
You can thank him that your friend is still alive.
How long have you been here?
Came here maybe 10 years back. My ma had died and Grandpa didn't feel safe carting me around the countryside by himself. It turned out good. The city's full of scrounge, and Grandpa made a living selling bandages and meds while treating folks for free. I do the same. He even attended the old commander when she passed. Couldn't do much for her except ease her going. The folks around here thanked him for it. Made us part of the ward and all. All right then, what else can I do for you?
Yeah, for the record, I see some people already asking this in chat. I do plan on talking to every NPC in the game.
What you got?
Especially since they're voice acting everything.
Need anything else, Sunshine? What you need?
Merchants buy and sell items for scrap. Merchants in Ward 13 sell a variety of items, including weapons, armor, consumables, and even stew. Other merchants can be found within the game world selling you a number of unique items. Okay, so we'll want to check every one. Mud Rub extinguishes burning. Antidote removes corroded. Okay. Ethereal Orb removes overload. Medic Pin. Perhaps once a shiny silver now bears the mark of time and wear it. Features a symbol commonly associated with healers and medics, serving as a reminder of the wearer's dedication to saving lives. It's a material. Interesting. I don't know what that does. And now I want it.
See you around.
Okay.
Looking for Ford? He's over in the warehouse. I'm sure he's got something going on.
Oh, nice mask, dude. Oh, is this a cosmetic guy from the first one? I'm Whispers. Got no speech. Need protection out there? I sell armor. What happened to your voice?
Hey, Cohh, how much you pay for that thing? Why don't you stand up?
Stabbed in the neck long time ago. How long have you been at Ward 13? Cohh, I thought you said every NPC was voiced. Shut up. Why'd you leave the bandit gang? Got old, no old bandits. It's fair. How do you like it here? It's gonna be like, okay. People are nice, food is good, like a good life. Okay, it's fair. It's fair. Oh, so we're not doing set bonuses anymore. Is that not a thing? Interesting. Maybe that's only for endgame armor. When receiving healing effects, gain haste for 10 seconds. Huh. Okay. That sucked. Set bonuses were awesome in the first game. I wonder how they're planning on kind of making that work in this one. We'll have to see.
Looking for Ford? He's up top in that warehouse over there.
Is there any reason to go in these little houses? Not really seen anything yet. Okay. What's black and crispy and hangs from a chandelier? An amateur electrician. It's dark. Is this Gramper? Nudgy old man.
Well, hey, get away from my stew! Oh, it's you.
Do we know each other?
What? No, of course not. Never seen you before in my life. I just figure you're you. You know? And I'm me, and that's where we are. So, what can old Mudtooth do for
Oh, it's
you, huh?
Mudtooth. Okay, can I ask you some questions?
Lucky for you, I've got answers. Good ones, too.
What can you tell me about yourself?
Quite a bit, stranger. The name's Mudtooth.
Is this the guy in the
And
plane?
ain't nobody been around longer or seen more
Thanks, John.
than I have. Except maybe old Ford.
It was!
Of course.
Oh, cool.
But
Great.
that old mudder cheats. Anyway, he hardly tells any of his stories.
Hey, El
Only
Hootie, I saw that.
3 reasons why folks come to see me. And that's my stories or my stew. Yeah. So, youngin', what'll it be?
What can you tell me about this town?
Town, you call it. Back in my day, a place like this wouldn't be considered much more than a camp or a bivouac, you might call it. Nah,
Bivouac.
This ain't no town. Not yet. But it is a fine place to set up kip. I lived by myself for years, see? Had myself what you calls it, a hockapatopter. That thing could fly to the moon and back. It could. Anywho, I was living by myself when my boy Brabus showed up saying we should move on. Told me it wasn't safe for me to be living like I've been living no more. He told me about this place. Got some nice people here. Took some getting used to. Being around folks again.
Somebody said, hey, Cohh, if I did a playthrough of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, would I be able to complete both of them before BG3 comes out? I'd love to play both of them. Do you need sleep? Or do you have a meth addiction? The short answer is no. I don't think you could. I mean, unless you played like... Actually, okay. To be real, if you don't have work or any responsibilities and you were to play 10 hours a day, I think you could probably beat both. I think you could do Baldur's Gate 1 in like 40-ish hours and Baldur's Gate 2 in like 80-ish hours, which would put you right at release in 12 days. But the short answer is, could you like in any meaningful way do both of them? Not really. No. If you played like 2 to 5 hours a day, you would probably get like done with 1 and then maybe through 2. What I would say is that if you're really interested in it, you could probably do 2. You may not beat it, but you could get a lot of 2 done, and 2 is awesome. So maybe like do a story recap on 1, and then you could probably play 2. I don't know if you can do the DLC, but you could probably get the 2 base story done. But that being said, they have stated very clearly that you do not need to play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 to enjoy 3. So, you know, I mean, it's not... There's going to be a few characters and some lore and stuff you may not know off immediately, but you can still have just as much fun with 3. Yeah, somebody said you can watch my VODs on 2x speed. I mean, that might work. So, you know, we'll see. What's the story with Brabus?
Well, Brabus, he's my son. 'Twere his idea to come join this little shanty town. Not a bad idea it was, neither. He's over yonder, At the shooting range, if you're looking to find him. Not much of a talker, though, that one. Guess he didn't get his old man's gift for gab, eh?
You said there were 3 reasons people came to see you. What's the third?
That's so? Huh. Did I tell you about the stories
Yep,
yet?
that and the stew.
That one too, eh? Well, that's it, ain't it? My stories and my stew. Listen, you sure I said there were 3 reasons? 'Cause there's only 2, and that's certain.
What time's the Cozy stream normally? Normally between 6:30 and 7 in the evenings. I don't know what we're playing tonight. We may play more Remnant 2 or maybe some EverQuest 1. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I was wrong.
Don't worry, it happens to all of us. You'll lose a lot more than that if you get to be my age.
Can you tell me a story?
You bet your apple I can, but these ain't just stories, stranger. They're objective retellings of legitimate occurrences what you wouldn't believe. Now, where to start?
This guy sounds straight out of
Ever tell you
Squidbillies.
about the time I killed 300 deadwood in one go? Whoo, that's a tale. So, I lived up in this old, Heliochapatakater, whatchahoozits, great sniper's nest. Let me pop off deadwood from a mile away. But one night, I wake up to a rustling and a howling, right? I look outside, and there's deadwood all around the place. Hundreds of them. But they don't stop coming. And I'm thinking, this is finally it. But then, I see tucked away behind an old building the cracked open end of an old gas main. So, I squint my good eye and pray to Kennedy, Jeebus, and Cash. And I squeeze the trigger, and my bullet flies through the air like a hawk to a coney. Caw-caw! It scrapes the pipe, and boom! Whole damn horde goes up in flames. Not a single one of them left. Deadwood never did bother me after that.
Wow, this voice acting. Cohh, with BG3, aren't you starting the 72-hour early access? Because the command says August 3rd. There is no 72-hour early access. They announced that recently. That no longer exists because they bumped up the game by an entire month. Yep. Can you tell me another story?
Sure can. Let's see. Ho-ho! Long time ago, when I was just 10 years old or so, I moved to a place called Sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary was true to its name. It was a place where folks came to be free from the dead wood, to protect each other. A lot like this place. Boy, Sanctuary had everything. Folks there had working engines and roads filled with fruit trees. But Sanctuary had this one thing I ain't never seen since. They called them movers, and I can still see them in my mind. See, they'd hook up this battery, right? Only it weren't storing power, but stories. They'd hook it up to a wheel and a light, and bam! Whole worlds just show up on the wall. Talking rabbits and stuttering pigs and this one real surly duck. Maybe it's something like Ford's old crystals. Except you couldn't walk into the movers. Believe me, I tried. Nah, they just played for you, sound and all. Transporting you to another place. Maybe that's where I got my love of stories, huh? Huh. Never really thought about it till now.
Yeah, he's talking about like a projector, movie projector.
Don't think I told you this one yet. There's an old man what lives at the center of a maze. Or does he live at the gate to the maze? I don't matter. This old man sees
I wonder if we should do these all now or save some for later.
And I don't mean like he can see whatever he wants when he wants. I mean, he sees everything all at once. That ain't all. The old man in the maze is a maker. The maze, see, is like a spider web full of doors.
There's 27
stretching
stories?
and threads every which way. And this watcher man sits at the center.
No.
And he don't just watch. He makes. where there ain't a door, he makes one. And then he makes what's on the other side of it, too. Ho, I can see on your face you ain't buying it. But I tell you, this Earth of ours...
Oh, I'm going to hear all the stories. Maybe not all at once, though.
In a dozen hundred. And if in this maze watcher decides he wants someplace to end, all he got to do is snap a thread and poof, no more door, no more world.
Wow.
Let me see here.
One more.
This city ain't without its own tales. Why, there's a tower, see? What only appears once in a gibbous August moon. Kinda looks like a big yellow-orange pumpkin. Within that tower's a man. Except he's not a man. He's a wizard, see? And he...
He fell asleep. Nudge him.
I'm telling you, that weren't no horse. Huh? Oh, right. Anyways, and within that tower is a man. Except he's not a man. He's a wizard, see? He calls himself the Keeper, and he controls everything. I've seen him myself. Even talked to him once. Man, smart as hell. So smart, even I can't keep up with him.
Yeah, he's talking about the levels in the game. It sounds like that, too. Yeah.
He says he watches over all of us. But if that's the case, then he ain't been doing such a good job. I mean, look around you. But I reckon he means well. And that tower, I think, is like a spaceship he uses to teleportate to other planets.
Teleportate.
You go walk the city in a harvest pumpkin moon. You'll see what I mean. Sure can.
All right, one more.
Let's see. Ho! Back when the Earth fell, a dragon, a real root dragon, took up residence over there, just like in old fairy tales. It started in them wards, see? Your eyes only hush-hush military conspiracizing farms and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did them experiments.
Them experiments.
And just like those tales, it took a what now?
That was a boss in Remnant 1.
To slay this dragon. Oh, but the dragon was crafty, all right. He knew the knight needed help, so the dragon gave it to him. Yep. The dragon took the form of a talking tree and told the knight if they wanted to slay that dragon, they'd have to slay all these other beasts first.
Yep.
A Cyclops, a living statue, what do you call them? Golem. Well, the knight slayed them all. But the thing was, these beasts weren't protecting the dragon. They were holding him back. So when the dragon finally did reveal itself, it was too strong for the knight. And it took him, body and mind, and made their strength its own.
This is the story of Kronos? All right, last one.
Would you believe old Mudtooth's out of tales? Well, don't, 'cause I ain't. But I could use some time to simmer before telling the next one. Come back later, yeah? Why, sure, but it ain't ready just yet. The lunch rush today was something fierce, I tell you. But I'll have some for you quicker than you can say crazy eight. Well, maybe not that quick. I done already said it, didn't I? Just come back in a while, I'll be sure to save you a bowl. You came to the right place, traveler. Fair enough.
Okay, we've literally exhausted his dialogue.
For some stew.
That was fantastic.
Talk later? Can't let this burn.
Okay. Anything to steal in here? Nope.
This is not up for discussion, Clementine. You're staying, and that's final.
I don't remember asking for your permission.
Watch your tone, young lady.
Excuse me? I'm 132 years old, in case you forgot. And I am not your child. You don't have authority over me.
On this, I do. This town needs you. You can't go wandering off after something that might not even exist.
Oh, that's rich. What have you been doing the last 100 years then, huh? What the hell are you doing right now?
Well, that's different.
Oh. Dang it.
We'll talk about this later.
Out of my way.
Okay. Ooh.
Whoa, what have we here? Ah, the Traveler, of course. Wallace said yes, right on time. Sorry you had to see that. But then again, you've been around. I'm sure you know. Families fight. Andrew Ford. Good to make your acquaintance.
As in the founder Ford?
In the flesh.
I heard the stories on the road.
Huh, how about that? I'm sure you've got a lot of questions, and I've got a favor to ask. So let's get to it. You first.
If you're really the Ford that built this place, how are you alive? I say, I don't know.
That's a longer story than I can indulge right now. Let's keep it to this. You know how some things you drink can make you drunk? And some things you eat can make you sick or sleepy? Well, other things do this. It's a big world out there.
Yo, can I get some?
Not my way. And you want to be careful what you wish for, traveler.
Were you expecting me?
Not you precisely, as in name, rank, serial number. But I knew someone was coming.
How? Is he gonna say Wallace?
Our young Wallace told me.
How would Wallace know?
Wallace? He's a special kid. A lot like somebody I used to know. She had bad dreams too.
Oh,
Dreams
the
about
subject.
Things that hadn't yet come to pass.
That's a little cryptic.
If you can find me someone who can explain it better, bring him in.
What kind of favor are we talking about?
Oh, nothing too dangerous. I've got to marshal my resources. And then we'll get into it in earnest.
I'd like to know more about the people living here.
Let me see if I can get you up to speed.
Why were you and Clementine fighting?
Arguing's not the same as fighting.
Yeah, okay.
Clem and I have known each other longer than anyone else here. That's a lot of water to put under a narrow bridge.
You can't be more than, what, 19? Well, we already know the answer to this, but...
Looks can be deceiving.
Yeah.
In fact, she's 132 years old.
Did she do the same thing as you?
Not quite. Clementine spent a long time away, keeping strange company. Something like that.
I wonder if Clementine
change you.
did something similar like the Root Mother. Bo seems to be a little young to be mayor.
Compared to who? Bo might be young, but he knows the run of a ward. Learned from the best. He was orphaned, just a kid. Ward 13 sort of adopted him. Ran security when he got old enough. Did a damn good job of it.
Is this game ass?
Only made
Yes,
sense to put him
it
in
is,
charge once we started up
It is
here.
pretty badass. Yes. Is Riggs really as nice as he seems?
Don't think there's a soul in town has lost as much as Riggs. Don't know how that man gets up out of bed every day. But he does. And we're damn thankful.
I have some other questions.
Okay?
Oh, yeah, personally, I'm an ass man. So, I mean, yeah, this game's pretty ass. Yeah.
All right, traveler. Now that you've shot your shot, here's mine. I need an able young scrapper to help an old man out. Talk to Wally. You'll find him out by the docks. After that, gear up, and then meet me at the ward gate. I'll tell you a story.
Wait, is Bo the little boy you meet at the beginning of 1? Maybe. Is that Bo?
Patience, traveler.
Maybe it was.